These books should be sold at tens of thousands of dollars. But the funny thing is, society, right, and the agenda made it so that you don't read anymore. What's the one book you should read to get rich? I know you've probably asked that question, or at least heard others ask it. And honestly, if you're hunting for the one book, the one video, the one business model, you are setting yourself up for failure. There is no magic one. I get it though. We all want that quick fix. It gives you hope, it keeps you going, and in a way, it tricks you into watching the next YouTube video, reading the next book, or jumping into the next business for a few days before moving on. And that cycle can be exhausting. But here's why I'm telling you this. Even though I'm about to talk about a book that genuinely changed my life, it's not because this book is the one or because it's some kind of miracle that solves all your problems. It's because this book was the missing puzzle piece in my journey. It wasn't the only thing that got me here, but was the piece that made everything else click. It helped me see the bigger picture, and once that happened, everything started to fall into place. So what's the book? It's The Secret by Rhonda Byrne. Now before you roll your eyes or just think it's another self-help book, let me explain. This book didn't work for me because I just read it. But what it really did was teach me how to change the way I think. I went from seeing obstacles to seeing opportunities. From thinking about lack to thinking about abundance. And that mental shift is what made the difference. But again, it's not the one. It's part of a journey. And it might be the missing piece for you too. I will tell you why, give you the most important principles of the book and how I implemented it. I will also give you a book list of 10 books that I think had a huge impact on myself, going from 0 to 100K a month. So you need to imagine, I basically spent all my childhood playing World of Warcraft in front of the computer. I was a complete geek, nerd, didn't know how to speak to people. I was just anxious, introverted, and inside and playing this game, right? And then my best friend came around, which I played the game together with, and he actually got this book called The Secret by Rhonda Byrne from his father. My friend's father is a very experienced and successful entrepreneur, and he gave his son this book. The book, The Secret Teen Version, was an easy book to read for 15, 16-year-old, and that's what we started to do. Now, books was nothing I was really interested in, but he said, this is something we need to read together. So he started to tell me about this book. We were sitting together while I was at home, and we had a gaming session over the weekend, basically 24 hours just of gaming. And he started to tell about this book. He said, Miguel, in the book it says we need to think positive. We need to think about success. We have to manifest it because everything in the world is energy, and energy is emitted and attracted by our mind. So if we think positive, we're gonna attract positive outcomes, and we can finally make money, be rich, and take care of our parents. Because like me, my friend Tobias, he was also living with his brother and a single mom in one household. What we always wanted to do was freeing our parents from the 9-to-5 slavery system. And that is why we started to think a lot about success and how we can become as rich as possible. Now, in the gaming industry, back in the times, you couldn't make money, so there was no opportunity for that. Even though probably we would have become very, very good, we started to think about success, and The Secret triggered that. The most important principles of The Secret that I have learned and I implement every day and help me to become insanely successful in every area I want to become successful is number one, understanding that your thoughts create your reality. Your thoughts create your reality means everything you think about and what you spend most of the time on thinking about is what you're going to attract into your real life. Think of the universe as an online shop where you can order things from. And how do you online shop in the universe is by thinking about the things you actually want to attract, like success, wealth, health, money, a certain amount of money, a certain car, a certain position, or a certain thing in life, or a certain, let's say, goal that you want to achieve. By thinking about this goal and thinking especially positively about this goal, you can attract it and order it from the universal online shop. The second most important principle of The Secret is that your thoughts that you have can either be positive or negative, and you can only have one thought at a time. Now, most people keep jumping in thoughts over and over the course of the day, and they don't really focus on something. Locking down a goal and a certain target and then thinking about it, especially positive instead of negative, trying to believe in it as much as possible, seeing it, meaning manifesting it into the future, is the key principle of The Secret. I made a very big mistake in the beginning because I thought The Secret means you just have to think positive and everything will come into your life. But what I did not understand is that you need to put down the horsepower on the street, is you need to put action in. There's the law of attraction, which is a secret, And there's the law of action, which means once you have a goal and you majorly think positive about it, and you really know what you want, and you have belief into it, and you manifest it, and you fall in love with a certain target and goal where you want to go, then you need to get into the action. You need to actually do something towards it. For example, in a business, in every business, there's money-making activities, the activities that can bring you towards a certain income goal or goal in general. Now, this combined with thinking positive and believing in your goals and understanding that your mind shapes your reality, because once you have it in your mind, you can hold it in your hands. That is the basic principle that changed my life. I read and listened to over 40 success audiobooks and books over the course of the last 10 years. And it really helped me, especially in the beginning, because I was really not made for success. Again, very introverted, didn't know how to speak with people or to people, very shy, very wrong self-belief, right? Or not at all, didn't have self-belief, very wrong and negative, overall negative mindset. So I needed to reprogram myself. In personal development, we say we have to delete our trash inside. See your brain as a computer with folders. And in these folders, there's information that you have piled up on, which basically comes out of the society, what your parents taught you, and basically what school especially teaches you, right? Because they are the most impactful characters and sources where you build up your information in this very folder, let's say about success, let's say about how to read or how to write or how to speak a language. Now, most of us grow up in a very normal or even poor environment where then obviously the information in your folder about money is also very poor. We need to delete this folder and reprogram this folder and put good information into it. And that's what I did by reading a lot of success books about leadership, about positive mindset, studying how people became millionaires, how to provide value, how to be a person of interest, and how to be someone that asks good questions, how to, at the end of the day, talk to people, body language, communication, psychology, and all of these things. And obviously, once you have that much knowledge and you learn how to actually use that knowledge and implement it into a business, when you have a vehicle, then you will hit all your goals that you ever had, because it just makes sense. So many people would ask me, Miguel, what are your 10 favorite books, your 10 most favorite books that had a huge impact in your life and you still use the information on a daily basis, and especially books that taught you skills on how to become a millionaire and make a lot of money and live a free life? And I definitely have to rank number one, The Secret by Rhonda Byrne, right? This is the basic principle to understand how your thoughts impact reality and how you can actually become successful, right? The Master Key System is a deeper version, and you should read it after The Secret because it gives you in-depth explanation on how The Secret actually really works, right? Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill, a book that I read over 5 times and listened to. It's a book that you cannot read only one time. You will constantly learn new things by reading this book and picking it up again after a couple of, years, month, whatsoever. How to Win Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie. Insane book, right? Insane book, and obviously this list will be below in the description, but How to Win Friends and Influence People is a book that taught me especially a lot on how to deal with people, how to talk to them, how to get what I want in an intelligent way, right? So if you deal with people, as we all do, you should read this book. In general, all books by Napoleon Hill, Dale Carnegie are insane, right? Hung by the Tongue by Francis P. Martin. It's a very short book. Hung by the Tongue, I believe, is by a priest or by a very religious person. It's a very old book, but essentially speaks more or emphasizes more the theory behind what you say. Like, you can hang yourself by the tongue. Basically, if you speak out things and how much power your words actually have, which then goes into manifestation and success and how most people really prevent themselves from becoming successful. The 21 Irrefutable Laws of Leadership by John C. Maxwell, the most insane book you can read on leadership. So if you want to become a leader, if you are a leader, then it's time to read this book by John C. Maxwell and any other book. John C. Maxwell is someone you can read all his books, okay? Natural Selling by Michael Oliver. I truly believe natural selling, or selling obviously in general, is the most important skill in life. You sell yourself to your girlfriend, you sell yourself to the workplace, to businesses, to other people. You sell yourself basically all the time, so you need to know how to do that. And Michael Oliver gives an insane approach where you smoothly can sell anything to anyone. Jim Rohn Library on Audible. There's the ultimate Jim Rohn library on Audible. Everything you can get hold of when it comes to Jim Rohn, take it. Jim Rohn YouTube videos, Jim Rohn books, Jim Rohn everything. Just study Jim Rohn, and then his mentor, who is a legend, it was Zig Ziglar, right? So there's also the Zig Ziglar ultimate library on Audible, right? Which is also insane. So Michael Oliver, natural selling, right? And then especially Audible is Jim Rohn and Zig Ziglar, and anything you can find about them. Both of them are legend. May they rest in peace. What they have given us, if you study it, is amazing. Zig Ziglar and Jim Rohn, my favorite legend in the personal development space. Secrets of the Millionaire Mind, T. Harv Eker. I still remember how I was driving my mom's car, 2 meetings, 2 different places, and I had the USB stick in the radio, and I was listening, or in the radio, basically, in the whatever you call this thing, right? And I was listening to T. Harv Eker and Secrets of the Millionaire Mind. He really goes deep into, I don't remember how many years he has studied rich people, as Napoleon Hill studied rich people for his whole life, and millionaires, and some of the biggest entrepreneurs on this planet Earth, and legends, right? But they put so much knowledge in a book about so much time they invested into learning from the most successful people. And imagine how valuable this book is. These books should be sold at tens of thousands of dollars. But the funny thing is, society, right, and the agenda made it so that you don't read anymore. We don't have the focus. We don't have the attention span anymore to actually sit down and read a book. Less and less people are reading books. But being physically with the book, in the sense of sitting there, holding it in your hands, focusing, blending out every other thought, and really staying focused on reading this book and pushing through even you don't want to read anymore, that's a skill that needs to be reobtained, because patience, focusing hours and hours on one little thing, is something that will make you very successful, and especially a skill that multimillionaires and millionaires and successful people have. So pick a book, because it will not only teach you the value in the book, but it will teach you something even greater, and that is sitting down, focusing, and studying something. Most people don't study anything anymore. They put it in ChatGPT. If it doesn't give them the answer in 2 minutes, they don't do research. And having the skill of doing research and staying consistent on analyzing and really understanding something is a skill that needs to be obtained, and that's an extra thing that books actually teach you. And again, there's so much value in these books. These people put hundreds of thousands of, I don't know how many hundreds of thousands of hours into these books, right? And you can read it for $20 in 2 weeks. That is immense and amazing.